was shot and killed outside of a local bakery. We learned that Memphis rapper Young Dolph was shot and killed outside of a local bakery.
A lot of people are full of emotion right now.
That's a father, that's a brother, that's a son, that's a nephew. Other than being a superstar, that's somebody's child right there.
We are coming on the air with breaking news tonight. Rapper Young Dolph is dead at the age of 36. We want to make sure that you are caught up with what we know. Multiple sources tell Fox 13 he was gunned down around 12:30. That was this afternoon. It was at a bakery on Airways. The owner told us Young Dolph was buying cookies at Makita's when someone drove up, fired through the front window, and shot the rapper.
Now, there is so much happening right now. There's so much to unpack. We're going to do our best here over the next 90 minutes for Fox 13 News at 5 and 6. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Daryl Green.
I'm Merle Purvis, and we do have team coverage for you tonight. Our crews have been around the scene and in other parts of the city. We are also tracking the traffic that slows down in the area that we are going to talk a lot about tonight. Let's go out to Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre, who was the first Memphis reporter on the scene this afternoon. Jeremy, I know that you are covering this as a professional journalist, but I also know that you felt a kinship to Young Dolph.
Absolutely, having lived in the city for 7 years or so, how could you not? He called himself the king of Memphis and his music for sure. And you know what? I happened to be the first reporter. I got the call. I got off at Airways, leaving our Fox 13 News studios on Highland today. Got the call, got off right here at Airways, going towards South Haven. I immediately turned around and got to this scene right here. You can see that it is still very much so an active scene. It looks as though Memphis police are taking up the barricades. But let me tell you what we heard when we first got to the scene. We heard raw emotion. We heard from people that were just sick and tired of being sick and tired of the gun violence here in the city of Memphis. And look, we were asking questions numerous times as to if anybody happened to be with Young Dolph at the time of the shooting. We have learned from the Memphis Police Department that someone did accompany him. Also, that person being questioned by Memphis police right now. Of course, it was a lot of raw emotion again, and it's still a lot of emotion involving this tragic loss of Young Dolph. Merle, Darryl.
Okay, Jeremy. Now, Jeremy, behind you, the scene that's going on behind you, could you tell us what is happening there?
Well, it looks as though that Memphis police are collecting the barricades, but for the most part, the homicide detectives are wrapping up their investigation. The medical examiner took off with the police escort with the body of Young Dolph about 20 minutes ago. Also being escorted by Memphis police officers happened to be the vehicle belonging to Young Dolph, that camouflage vehicle with all that camouflage print on it. We have seen a lot of family here on the scene, many of them now talking with police. And get this, Merle, we were told about 40 minutes ago that we would be able to speak with Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis about today's tragedy, and of course posing several other questions to her about the violence that has taken place in the last 4 or so days here in the city of Memphis. I know just last night they had a meeting talking about the surge of gun violence in the city over there in Raleigh. So of course we're going to continue to stay on top of this story all throughout Fox 13 News at 5 and 6, but it looks as though Memphis police wrapping up their investigation. Airways still completely blocked off in both directions.
Hey, Jeremy, just to clarify, you mentioned Chief C.J. Davis. So are we going to get to hear from her, or do you know yet? I know that as of about 4:20, you said maybe around 5 o'clock. Have you heard any update on when she's going to talk?
I just sent a text message to the spokesperson to see if we can get an update. It was supposed to be in this area of the Dixie Queen, the parking area of the Dixie Queen. We were still waiting for the location, the confirmation on the location, because we were told 2 different locations, either here in the parking area of the Dixie Queen or on the other side of Airways, closer to the Airways police station.
Gotcha. That's Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre reporting there live from Airways. We'll be checking in with Jeremy, obviously, throughout this newscast.
Yeah, young Dolph was just at Makita's Bakery. This was last week. Take a look at this video we have.
Say you came to get some what?
That's all I came for, to get some Makita.
Makita cook.
Get the side.
Get the side.
Get the side. Come back around here.
Come back around there.
Yes, these right here.
What you got? Chocolate chip. Don't hot.
Straight out the
Just for you.
According
Appreciate
to
you, baby. Be safe.
he said he got the chocolate chip hot out of the oven. And according to Makita's Cookies, that's her Instagram, the Instagram post. That video was taken just last week, and you can see Dolph. He's right there in front of the bakery. They even show the bakery. Makita's wrote, young Dolph says every time he comes home to Memphis, he has to stop by Makita's Cookies. We continue our live team coverage now with Fox 13's Dominique Dillon. Dominique, we just saw the car that was pulled away from the scene, young Dolph's car with the camo gear. That was one of the cars featured in his video, Major.
Yeah, that's right. We just saw his car pull off with police escort. There were dozens of officers taking that car out of this area. We also saw a gray Nissan Altima, and in the back window we saw that there was a bullet hole in that back window, so it's unclear what that gray Nissan Altima had to do with what happened here, but it's clear that it's now a part of evidence since one of the gunshots that were fired went through the back door. And it looks like right now police have removed some of the barricades. They pushed us back about 100 meters. Earlier today, we've been here for about the last 4 hours, but earlier today there were hundreds of people out here coming to see exactly what happened, gather information, and of course pay their respects to this man. Everyone I spoke to out here, they had great things to say about how much of a giver young Dolph was. I even spoke with his pastor as well. He said that he had a turkey giveaway set for this Friday. He had planned on handing out 200 turkeys, and this is something that he does annually. There's no update on what's going to happen this Friday at this point now, but once again, I spoke with several people out here. They all said the same thing. Young Dolph was a giver. He meant a lot to his community. I saw an 11-year-old boy break down crying. From young to old, people out here were emotional. There's a woman right here at the barricade. She broke down crying as well. So very emotional scene. Now, although police have removed the barricade, you can see that there's still a heavy police presence out here, and it may be that way for several more hours. I asked one of the police officers, are you planning on heading out of here anytime soon? He said no, they plan on being here a while longer, but once again, the barricade has been removed. And when news first broke, hundreds of people flooded down here to see what was going on. If you take a look over here, over there, you can see that there's few people standing around. Earlier, the entire fence was covered with people. The Dixie Queen parking lot was filled with people as well. The crime scene has died down now that it's almost 5 hours after the shooting occurred, but as you mentioned, we saw young Dolph's recognizable, highly recognizable car be taken away by a tow truck about 10 to 15 minutes ago. We also saw a gray Nissan Altima that's now part of this crime scene as well get taken away. But once again, I can't stress enough just how many people said how great of a man young Dolph was. Everyone had said nothing but good things, how much of a giver he was, how much he gave back to the community, and many people were looking forward to the turkey giveaway that was set for this Friday. Reporting live in Memphis, Dominique Dillon, Fox 13 News.
Thank you, Dominique. And we just got word, Merle, the question we posed to Jeremy Pierre, when would we hear from Chief C.J. Davis of the Memphis Police Department? We just got word we're not going to hear from her today or tonight.
So we are hearing, reading the tweets and messages on social media. I wonder, though, at a time like this, would in-person presence be something that would become for everybody around?
We know for a fact that she was there. We know for a fact that she was at the scene, but I believe she has left the scene and is not going to address the media. So, much to your point. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, repeat that, Claire. We have MPT.
A tweet from
Okay, let's pull it
Chief
up. We have
Davis.
a tweet from Chief Davis. There it is. It's a long statement. November 17, 2021 at 12:24, Memphis police officers responded to the scene of a shooting. One male victim was located and pronounced dead at the scene. No suspect information available at the time. That's obviously that's police talk that we usually get. The preliminary information indicates that the victim is Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. However, this information will be confirmed once the identification process has been completed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to continue, this shooting is another example of the senseless gun violence we are experiencing locally and nationwide. Our hearts go out to the Thornton family and all who are affected by this horrific act of violence. The men and women of the Memphis Police Department are committed to working with our community to curb these types of incidents. We are also dedicated